Hey everyone, it's Christian here from the Student Success Center.
Andy Lane from Lyons New Media Center in Mills Library. And today we will be showing you how to plan for a successful video shoot. There are a few pre-production items to complete before beginning a video project, including creating a creative brief, writing a storyboard, a script, and figuring out what equipment you require. As you work on these items, it is important to also think about framing or the types of shots you want to include, transitions, lighting, or if you want to include B-roll or any additional media. This might seem like a lot up front, but we will break it down for you and show you examples of everything in this tutorial.
Traditional filmmaking is comprised of 3 different phases: pre-production, production, and post-production. Each phase is critically important, and the more thoroughly you complete one phase, the easier the next phase will be. Pre-production is the planning phase, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. But we will be talking about the other phases just so you can get an idea of the whole picture in mind. Production is the second phase, and this is where you get all of your filming done. You may think that this is the most time-consuming, but if you've done your due diligence in planning, filming will actually be one of the quickest parts of the production. Post-production is where the video editing happens. Now this phase can be broken down to different sub-phases, adding things like video, Foley sounds and audio, or correcting green screen and CGI. And this is probably the most labor-intensive and time-consuming part of your filming production, as your edits get sent out for reviews and they get sent back. And this iterative process usually takes the longest amount of time.
Before you get started, you might want to ask yourself a few questions about your video. What is the objective? What is the goal of the video? What are you filming? Is this an interview, a music video? Knowing this will help you to decide what style you want to use when filming your video. Also, make sure to prepare consent forms for anyone who is in your video. Where will your video live? Is this for social media or class presentation? Knowing this will help you to determine what resolution you'll need to film in. Does your audience have accessibility needs? All videos should be closed captioned. Some videos need described video. What is the location of where you are filming? And is this location accessible to all participants? Do you have any brand colors or logos that need to be incorporated into the video? What equipment do you have available? What talent do you have available? And are you following a script? All of these points should help you in writing a creative brief. A creative brief is a document that describes the video's tone, purpose, audience, and gives a rough plan for execution. Check out the description for a link to download a template for a creative brief.
Once you've determined your creative direction, you can now begin storyboarding your ideas. Storyboarding is an important part of the planning and communication. It allows you to visualize your shots and plan out your needs for each scene. You can download a template in the link below. There's many different shot types in filmmaking. Each one's going to convey a different mood or feeling. So let's talk about a few that are going to be key towards your filmmaking. The close-up. In frame, we see the face only. This leads us to see some of the emotions that's going on and gives us a connection to the subject. The medium shot. In frame, it's going to be waist up. The actor and the environment are balanced in the scene. The establishing shot. The frame is usually a panning, extreme long shot. It's usually in the beginning of the film to establish a sense of time, place, and tone. And the talking head. The talking head is a film idiom used to describe a common composition when filming interviews. It accounts for the rule of thirds and utilizes a medium close-up shot of the chest up. And the subject does not look directly into the camera, but rather off to the side. When planning the various shots in your video, it is important to think about the lighting. After all, the lighting informs us about what is important in the scene. You can choose between backlighting, overhead lighting, or spotlighting to tell you what is important in the scene. If you're interested in learning about how to set up lightings for an interview or a dialogue style video, you can check out our previous video of how to shoot professional LinkedIn headshots. There, we go over a variety of different lighting setups, all with household items.
In addition to storyboarding, you will want to plan that extra footage that will be used to enhance the story or supplement what the speaker is saying. This is referred to as B-roll. A-roll being the main footage, but no one really calls it that. In addition to adding more substance or spice to your video, B-roll is very handy to use when covering up those unsightly cuts in your video footage. It acts kind of like a band-aid to tape over those little video editing ouchies, if you will. And B-roll can be more than just recorded footage. It can be images, logos, diagrams, any additional media that you want to include in your video. If there is going to be dialogue in your video, you will want to prepare a script. Depending on the type of video, the content in the script may vary. For an interview, your script may just have an intro section, a few questions, and an outro section. On the other hand, a script for a video like this one looks like this. It is very detailed. We want to make sure that we are covering everything in a logical order. When writing a script, it is also important to format it nicely using headings and indents so that whoever is reading it will be able to do so easily.
When it comes down to recording your video, a lot of great footage can be done on your mobile device. Before you get started, you might want to check your phone's camera settings to see if you can record in a higher resolution and adjust the frame rate. Note that not all phones have these. Camera resolution refers to the width and height of the frame measured in pixels. Common resolutions include 1280 by 720, often referred to as 720p, 1920 by 1080, which is technically full HD or 1080p, and 3840 by 2160, which is referred to as 4K. Now, if you are shooting in 4K, this makes for some great cropping options as you can zoom in on your footage without losing any of the clarity, but you are going to require a 4K monitor to really see the difference. Frame rate refers to the number of frames captured per second, and if you think about it, when we're shooting video, we're actually just playing back a bunch of photos, known as frames. By deciding on the quantity of frames captured, we can adjust the feel and look of the video. 24 frames per second is going to give your video a little bit more of a cinematic look, allowing for a bit of motion blur to happen during the action sequences. 30 frames per second is what you're going to see on TV sitcoms, and the action is going to be a little bit smoother. 60 frames per second is going to be what you want to see for like sports or any high definition video. You can also play this back at half speed or a 3/4 speed to give yourself a little bit more slow motion.
When it comes to audio, sometimes you're able to get away with using your phone's built-in microphone, but other times that's not such a great idea. For instance, I'm currently filming with my phone. It is about 3 feet away from me, and I don't have any interfering background noises that are competing with my voice, such as fans, traffic, wind, or other people talking. If you are filming a subject that may be more than 4 feet away from the camera, you may want to consider looking into an external microphone that can clip onto your subject and then plug into your phone. There are many affordable options available on sites such as Amazon. If you are filming outside, you could also look into purchasing a windscreen or a filter that will protect the microphone from any wind noises.
Well, there you have it. It's time to get filming. Stay tuned for our next video where we take some of these techniques and edit them in post-production. Thanks for watching.